you seem very passionate about the operations and how things run. And as you said, you coach or you kind of talk to a lot of new restaurateurs, and they're all about the food. Do you think that there's a different success rate in those that are passionate about the process, and those that are just solely focused on the food?
I think there probably is.
Hmm.
I've never thought about it like that, but I think it's a really good way to think about it. If you meet seasoned operators, especially of successful chains and corporations, which is not what we want to be, but there's a reason that they've made it that far.
Right.
It's generally because of the systems they have in place, the processes they have in place, um, basically the formulas of how to make a restaurant run profitably and the numbers you need to stick to and hit. Uh, I think the smaller you are, and if you're a chef owner, food can definitely drive your business 100%, especially if you're doing something like amazing and outstanding. But as you grow, and if you're not the person that's in the kitchen every day, or you want to work on the business, now what happens is the food falls off because you're no longer the chef in the kitchen, and all of a sudden now like the restaurant isn't what it was before. And that's, I think, what we see a lot, right? Places open, they're great for a year or two, and then they need to grow or expand, or the chef doesn't want to work 90 hours a week anymore, and things start to decline and degrade. So, you know don't get me wrong, our food is fire, and
Right.
like everything tastes great and is awesome, and we cook from scratch and we do stuff in takeout that no one else is doing. But again, like, we have a system in place to make sure that it's consistent and make sure it comes out the same way every time. And like, we have a system to make sure the food stays hot when it gets to you, and the process is right, and the food cost stays where it needs to be so we can be profitable. So again, it's all of those things need to be firing correctly in order to make a restaurant work. That's why restaurants are like a very, very complex, simple thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like a very easy thing for a lot of people. They're like, oh, restaurant, how hard could it be? And the truth is, it's like it's one of the hardest things imaginable.
Yeah. It's What the similarity I'm seeing is like, in tech startups, right? You usually have the business founder and you have the tech person. And I had never thought about this until really kind of learning from this conversation. There might even be a similar dynamic, right? Um, Tell me a little bit about your experience about finding help, right? Building these systems, getting this restaurant into place. Like, how did you find help?
I'm still looking. The truth is, like, right now, that's my biggest thing. I'm looking for help for me, because we want to grow and expand. And again, I realize that I can't be in multiple places at once. So being able to find that other person or multiple people that can help us grow is paramount. On our staffing side, right? As someone that started for me as a prep cook is our chef manager of our location. He's our employee number two, and he's awesome and helps run 80% of the day-to-day operations. And I think it's part of just like attracting your tribe, right? Like whatever the phrase is now, or like you put out your, like, I'm an overly transparent person. I try to treat everybody just like an equal. Everybody, we're all on the same page. We're all adults. I think that helps bring in other people that are like-minded. So our staffing situation, day to day, has been good,
Mm-hmm.
and steady. And I think a lot of it again has to do with like the culture that you create, which is, I've been the busboy, I've been the bartender. I know exactly how it can feel sometimes. So just making sure that people realize that they're appreciated, treat people with respect. I'm a former basketball coach too, so I used to use this term a lot, which is, I treat everybody fairly. I don't treat everybody equally,
Yeah.
and it's just like a really important thing. People are different. They have different ambitions, different motivations, and figuring out what those things are and what drives people is really important. So now I'm on that search on the executive level, which is only a couple of weeks in. So a very timely question. And it's challenging, right? It's challenging, to make a commitment to someone, to find out like how do you know that they're going to be good once, like things are actually going? So I can't say that I have that one solved yet, but again, I think being yourself, putting yourself into the business and hoping that attracts the same type of person when they're looking into your business. I don't think, you know, a lot of people front, a lot of
Yeah.
people say what they think they should be saying or say what they think people want to hear. And like, it's just never going to end well. So again, just being overly transparent with what we're doing and who we're looking for and letting things kind of take care of themselves a little bit.
No, man, I love it. That's awesome. I hope we find the right people. Um, I've what I found in my conversations is the biggest hurdle is living with the fact that the person's not going to care as much as you do. He never will. And I think that for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's hard. It's really hard, especially when it's your own money, your own time. You're not taking a salary, and you bring someone on who, again, you're going to be treating fairly as a partner, and they don't have that same fire. I'm curious to circle back with you on how you address that
Me,
challenge.
me too. Me too. And again,
Yeah.
I think it's different now because of where we are versus where we were. You know,
Mhm.
even in even in like just the world when I meet people now, right? I can tell people what we do and most people get it and it
Yeah.
clicks. Whereas like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when I was telling people about the idea and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do a virtual food truck lot. People are like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, and they didn't understand it. Like, do I put on VR goggles and like, is it like a restaurant experience that like, like it just didn't click. People had no, like just thought I was a little bit crazy. I'm sure there's still some that feel that way, but now again, I think because of the pandemic and the acceleration of so many of these different ghost kitchen type models, it's really easier for people to grasp now than it was.